James Hearn for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something that boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I'm sure you guys have heard the news by now. Shakur Stevenson is officially an Eddie Hearn Matchroom boxing fighter, and I wanted to discuss that because really and truthfully, this is a move that most people anticipated, so it really shouldn't come as much of a surprise because we know that Eddie Hearn does regard Shakur Stevenson very highly. We also know that Eddie Hearn is probably the only promoter that would be willing to pay him above his market value, which we would call, the term we'd use is overpay, to the point where he'd lose money on him because he believes in his talent so much that he believes he'll get his eventual return on an investment one way or the other, right? So Shakur Stevenson is a matchroom fighter, and the real question is, in all this is, can Eddie Hearn deliver the big fights, the marquee fights, the big nights for Shakur Stevenson? Because when you look at the 135 division, we all know what the big fight is for Shakur Stevenson, and that's the Gervonta Davis fight. Davis is a PBC fighter. He's aligned with Al Heyman and all those guys. And, it's not impossible for a matchroom fighter to get a big fight with an Al Heyman fighter. I mean, Edgar Berlanga is fighting Canelo Alvarez, but Canelo Alvarez he's a PBC fighter now, but he's not like a homegrown grassroots PBC fighter. Tank Davis has had millions upon millions and millions of dollars invested into him, so I don't think they're taking that fight until they feel it makes enough financial sense for them, right? So with that being said, with that being firmly established on True School Sports, let's talk about it. Eddie Hearn is a promoter that thus far to date he has not really developed an American star. And the American stars he has had, whether it be Mikey Garcia or a guy lesser guy as far as popularity, like a guy like Demetrius, Andrade, he wasn't really able to deliver for a guy like Andrade. And Andrade, I think, is very similar to Shakur, a higher risk, low reward southpaw who can box and move really well, who a lot of guys don't want to fight. Same thing with Shakur, So will this be Demetrius Andrade 2.0? We shall see. It was revealed that the deal is a 2-fight deal. He's going to fight Joe Cordina first, and then he's going to fight probably William Zepeda, which makes sense because that was a fight that was talked about by Turkey Al-Sheikh and Eddie Hearn. William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson is a great fight. William Zepeda is one of the best volume punchers in the sport. That could be the fight where Shakur Stevenson, we finally get to see maybe him use more of the toolbox and see more of his skills on display, because he's gonna fight a guy that's gonna let the leather fly and come forward and try to win. So it'll be Shakur Stevenson's objective to cut this man's punch volume in half and neutralize him when they do fight. But his first fight is Joe Cordina, and I want to camp out on that for a second because Joe Cordina, this is a guy that I remember a long time ago. He's now moving up to 135 from 130. His last fight, he just got his ass waxed by Anthony Kakachi, who most people had not heard of. He's not a highly regarded puncher, but nonetheless, he got stopped by him. Could have been the case of him staying at the weight too long, but had a good run at 130, two-time champion there. And, what's funny is I remember years ago when I did my prospect review video on Joe Cordina when he was maybe 7-0, 8-0, 6-0, something like that. And he fought at 135. And I remember watching him thinking, he had some talent, but he had some work to do. He was pedestrian in his performance at 135. So the smartest thing his team ever did was move down to 130, because if he had been a 135-pounder, to begin his career and would have made it his point to stay there, I don't think he ever becomes world champion. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it ever happens for him. But now he's filled out. Now he's matured. Now he's been champion a couple of times. He's won some big fights, had some good moments. And I think even though he's coming off of a loss, I think he's coming into being a lightweight with more confidence, right? So this is a fight where Shakur Stevenson has to be focused. Cordina can fight. Cordina's got tools in the toolbox. He's with Ben Davison now, who's a great film study guy, who I'm sure is going to have him ready. But really and truthfully, it's a fight Shakur Stevenson should win, and win quite handily, because this guy's never been a 35-pounder. And the odds say that. I think Shakur is like a plus 1,300 or minus 1,300. Joe Cordina is like a plus 800. So, he's an 8-1 underdog, that Joe Cordina. And I think Shakur Stevenson should beat him quite comfortably when they fight each other on the undercard of Better Bia versus Bivol. So These are cool fights. You know, Corina, whatever. Zepeda, very credible, good fight. But really the fight where I think that people are clamoring for when it comes to Shakur is that Tank fight. And Eddie Hearn, I like Eddie Hearn, good guy. But Eddie Hearn doesn't really have any pull in America when it comes to making these big fights with a guy like Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis, you can say what you want. You can say he don't fight nobody. You could say, which I think his competition in his career as a whole isn't the greatest. But one thing about Tank is he moves that needle. He puts asses in them seats. And when you go to a Gervonta Davis fight here in America, it feels big time. I mean, it feels big time because it is big time and he's big time. So Shakur Stevenson's the B side. And Eddie Hearn, I think, is going to have to play nice with PBC and Al Haymon. That's what I think. They're going to have to play nice with PBC and Al Haymon because Gervonta Davis is clearly a much bigger draw than Shakur Stevenson. And Gervonta Davis is a much more exciting fighter for casual fans than Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson, last couple performances haven't done anything great for his market value. So I think Shakur has needed some big performances, exciting performances, because he is the B-side. Whether he has another exciting performance or a boring performance, he is the clear B-side in that negotiation. I question if Eddie Hearn will be able to deliver that fight and get it over the line. He got Berlanga over the line because Berlanga is a fighter that, people don't think can beat Canelo Alvarez. He's looked at as a fighter that's a favorable matchup for Canelo Alvarez. But Shakur Stevenson, quite possibly the best pure boxer in the sport. I would say him and Demetrius are like 1A and 1B when it comes to just pure boxing, the art of hitting and not getting hit. They're like 1A and 1B to me. That's a different cup of tea, and when you look at the history of Gervonta Davis's matchmaking, they like to pick favorable fights. So I hope it gets over the line. I hope Eddie Hearn can deliver for him. But if we're going by track record, it's probably not going to go too well for Shakur Stevenson. So maybe he gets William Zepeda. Maybe they can do a fight with Raymond Murataya, who's over there at Top Rank still. But they're just, I honestly think, to be honest with you, I really think Shakur Stevenson signing a Matchroom is, it's not the best decision. It's not a good decision. And I think it could be to his ultimate detriment. And if he thought guys was ducking him with Top Rank, he may be even worse with Matchroom. Because one thing about it is, there's only a handful of fighters in boxing that can tell Turkey Al-Sheikh to go fuck himself. Like, as far as money. Only a handful. Canelo can tell Turkey to go fuck himself. Inoue can do that if he wants to. And Tank is one of those fighters, too. So, he don't need to go to Saudi. He don't need to go over there. And so, yes, Turkey may feel he can throw his money around and lure Tank to Saudi. But Tank don't got to bend to their will. And that's why I think this becomes problematic. And that's why I think now Turkey's ego, because Turkey has an ego like an MF. He has a big ego. He don't like hearing people say no to him, and Tank can say no to him because Tank has enough money to say no to him. So I think that's the other layer in this too. So these are my thoughts on Shakur Stevenson signing up Matchroom. I do think that it could really backfire him on him in a major way, because I don't think there's anything Matchroom can do for him that Top Rank didn't already do. Like, for example, Eddie Hearn's going to want to box him in Newark, New Jersey. Shakur already fought in Newark, New Jersey against Artur Haratunian and Robinson Conceição. So that's not anything new. Bringing him to Saudi is something new, but you're not going to get Tank to go to Saudi because Tank don't got to go to Saudi. So I'll be honest, now that I'm talking about it out loud, I don't think this ends well for Shakur Stevenson getting the big fights. And thankfully for him, thankfully for his sake, it's only a 2-fight deal. So hopefully by the end of this 2-fight deal, Shakur Stevenson will have driven his value up enough to where, okay, then he can fight Tank and give the fans what they want. But honestly, if they do fight, I mean, he got 2 fights left, so he's gonna fight later this year and probably in the first 1 or 2 quarters of next year. So probably by the 3rd or 4th quarter of next year at the best, that's when Shakur and Tank can fight. But if you're expecting it anytime between now and like June of next year, don't hold your breath. So let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about Shakur Stevenson signing with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom? Do you think this will help him in getting the Tank fight for the future? And do you think Eddie Hearn could actually deliver a Tank fight for him while he's a Matchroom fighter? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Candlefield, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.